This is a review of the Verizon 6850 released a couple of weeks ago. The short of it is I like this device. I think it's a very nice little machine. It is the equivalent of Sprint's HTC, their Touch Pro device. The Verizon device has been noted on the net as having less memory and a strange layout on the keyboard. Those two things aside, I like the device. The 192 megabytes of RAM, I don't think it's going to be a real issue. It's sure the more the merrier. But having had this device for a day now and running the Opera browser, the Verizon Navigator, Windows Word Mobile, Excel, and running the TouchFlow interface as well, yeah, I was running out of RAM, but I still had enough, and the device was usable. So, I mean, the bottom line is that it's not a practical limitation. Don't know why Verizon changed that format, maybe to reduce the cost or something. That said, like I said, it's still usable, and I like it. This device will turn on a couple of nice ways. Well, first of all, let's get to the layout of the phone. It's obviously got a concentration on touch, as the iPhone generation of phones is bringing us. The bezel, or the front of it, is flat, no bezel, as in other devices, traditional Windows mobile devices. Fewer buttons. You only have a call and in-call button, a home button, and I guess that's a return button. You do have a flat D-pad, the traditional up, down, left and right arrow, and a center click button, which is traditional. And it actually is touch sensitive, and it works with Opera browsers, the Opera browser that's included, which is, well, I'll show you later. Two buttons on the side for volume, and the top power button. And that's about it. We can turn the device on by sliding out the pen, and as you can see, I have the TouchFlow interface turned on, and this is the home page. This is the replacement to the Today screen. It's really just a Today. It's just a plug-in, really. It's the TouchFlow, as people have said, actually slows the device down. I tend to disagree. I don't see that at all, really. It adds some overhead. A little bit at a time is added to the startup of the boot time, but nothing major. It boots up just as fast as the 6800 did, I think. And I sort of like this front end. It's got a couple of nice little devices in it. You slide your finger to get to the horizontally to get to the different functions. It's not quite iPhone-y or iPhone-esque, if that's a real word, in terms of its feel, but you can navigate to the different parts. The two things that I like, and we'll show briefly, the media viewer, the picture and the web or video viewer, pretty nice. Gives you a nice little preview show of your included pictures. You just use your finger to slide through them, and then you just tap on one to bring it into full screen view. The built-in accelerometer lets you rotate the device and have the pictures size in accordance. That's a very nice little feature, something that's been desperately needed on a Windows mobile device, I think. Of course, that only works with applications that are aware of the accelerometer, but works pretty well. I like it. And the media player is pretty nice. You can slide through your songs. I don't know how many albums I have on here, but you can slide through them if I have any, which I think it's sliding through the various tracks now on this album, so the album cover isn't changing. You can change the view to songs, artists, your traditional views of these for media players. Functional and kind of cute. Not super duper, but it's included with the device. It beats the Windows Media Player for sure in terms of being able to navigate it. Like I said, I can go and click on Library, and then you can get your different views. This is by album here, or no, that's by artist. This is by album, and you could flick through this list if I had more in it to flick, but you get the gist of it. That works pretty well, so I'm going to keep it on there. I think it doesn't seem any overhead. The next thing we'll get into then are the, I guess, the most important app that's coming in of late on phones, the web browser. And we can start it up by going to Opera. I've installed the latest beta version. This phone includes Opera in the ROM, so I've got 2 versions of Opera running. But I was trying to get the Flash player to work with Opera with no success. So far, the Opera browser works great with everything except Flash, pretty much for the most part. So if you really want to do or hit Flash sites like YouTube and whatnot, I would suggest that you use the Skyfire browser, which you can download from skyfire.com. It's an open beta. It's still a beta product, obviously, but Skyfire works pretty well. It's not as slick as Opera, not quite as polished, but works pretty well. Has the same basic zoom in out capabilities, panning capabilities as this. I'm going to go and show you the nice thing about this device. One of the great things about the device is the screen. It's 640 by 40 VGA, so it's very sharp. It's probably a little too small. It's a 2.8-inch screen, so for a device this size. And as you can see, this will actually, the Opera browser does recognize the accelerometer. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. And using the keyboard, I really don't like the on-screen thing too much. It works. It's functional, but my fingers, I don't know, just don't get used to it that well. And so now we have Opera up and running, and the rotate takes a little time while you're in Opera, but there we go. And we can zoom in by tapping. We can zoom in and out with the pad down here. As you can see, that's where the touch comes in on the pad. The pad is basically recognizes the circular motion around the center button. Will zoom in and zoom out. Works pretty well. Fairly responsive. And I'm going to go and I'm going to search on, do a search for Bill Gates in Wikipedia. And I've just hit the enter button, so you can get an idea of about how fast I'm running off of EVDOA. As you can see, it loads pretty quickly. I mean, that's not, obviously not a PC or a laptop speed, but very usable. I can double click, or I can tap on the screen and zoom in. The pad, of course, zooms in and out. As you saw earlier. And it's now refreshing to get the rest of the article. There it is. I just tap on it and zoom it in. Bill Gates. You can't really tell from this camera, but this is a very beautiful screen. Wikipedia works very well on this phone. And actually, Wikipedia would be probably one of the more important sites that you use on a phone. Very important to have that kind of access in, bar debates. And there we go. We rotate it back to portrait mode. Zoom in, out again. And like I said, if you actually were to see this screen, it looks very nice, very crisp, very clear. So there you have it, a quick overview of the 6850 Verizon Wireless. I recommend it. I think it's a nice device. I think you'll be happy, especially if you're a 6800 owner. Take care.